The latest 13 FHR filings that hit the wire on February 12, 2026. While the retail crowd was distracted by the daily noise, the smart money, the guys who actually moved the needle, just executed a coordinated stampede into a single ticker, Bitmine Immersion Technologies, BMNR. I've been dissecting these filings for the last 48 hours, and my analysis suggests we are witnessing a once-in-a-decade accumulation event. Let's start with BlackRock, the world's largest asset manager. They didn't just add a few shares, they aggressively doubled down, increasing their position by a staggering 165.60% in a single quarter. They now own over 9 million shares, valued at nearly $246 million. In my view, when BlackRock moves that much capital into a stock of this size, it isn't passive exposure. It's conviction capital. They are planting a flag. But it gets even crazier. Marex Group, one of the most powerful global market makers, just disclosed an even bigger position. They increased their stake by an unbelievable 560.05%. Think about that. They went from roughly 1.5 million shares to over 10 million shares in record time. They now actually own more of the company than BlackRock does. And just to seal the deal, Cathie Wood and ARK Invest stepped in on the exact same day, buying up shares for their next-gen internet ETF, $ARKW. When you see the old guard like BlackRock and Marex buying alongside the new guard like ARK, it tells me that the institutional consensus has flipped. My analysis suggests we could see a move to a whole new valuation floor because these players don't buy millions of shares just to sell for a 10% gain. They are front-running a massive fundamental shift that the average investor hasn't even noticed yet. They are securing the supply before the supply-demand imbalance kicks in, and in my view, this is the loudest buy signal you will ever see in a disclosure filing. So, the obvious question is, why? Why are the smartest guys in the room suddenly obsessed with a company that most people still think is just a crypto miner? In my view, if you are looking at Bitmine as just a miner, you are looking in the rearview mirror. This isn't a bet on hardware, it is a bet on the financialization of the creator economy. I've been following the research coming out of Tom Lee and the team at Fundstrat, and they've identified the catalyst that is going to drive the next 20 years of market returns, the Great Wealth Transfer. We are currently entering a period where over $84 trillion, yes, trillion with a T, is going to be passed down from baby boomers and Gen X to millennials and Gen Z. This is the largest movement of capital in human history. But here is the catch. Gen Z does not trust traditional banks. They don't want to open an account at Charles Schwab. They don't care about BlackRock's legacy. My analysis suggests that they are looking for financial institutions that speak their language. They want to bank with the people they already follow and trust every day. And that is where MrBeast comes in. Bitmine has already moved early on this trend, making a $200 million investment into Beast Industries. The theory, and I believe this is exactly why the institutions are buying, is that Beast Financial Services is set to become the Charles Schwab for the next generation. Jimmy Donaldson isn't just a YouTuber anymore. He is a brand that has the absolute trust of billions. By providing the financial plumbing for MrBeast's ecosystem, Bitmine is positioning itself to be the primary gateway for that $84 trillion inheritance. We could see a move where the traditional banking model is completely disrupted by creator banking. My view is that BlackRock isn't just buying a stock, they are buying a seat at the table for the future of how Gen Z stores and moves wealth. Now, let's talk about what is actually under the hood of this company, because this is the secret that makes the valuation look incredibly cheap. I managed to track down a ranking of the world's largest Ethereum holders, and what I found should be front-page news. Most people assume the biggest holders are exchanges like Binance or Coinbase, right? Well, in my view, the real alpha is that Bitmine has silently become a massive crypto treasury powerhouse. They currently hold 4.326 million ETH. To put that in perspective, that is more than BlackRock, more than Binance, and more than Coinbase. They literally hold about 12.7% of the total supply of Ethereum within this elite group of entities. When you buy BMNR, you aren't just buying a company, you're buying a leverage play on the entire Ethereum network. But here's the real kicker that most people are completely missing. EIP 7791. This is a new proposal on the Ethereum network that changes the game for builders. For years, if you built an app on Ethereum, the gas fees went to the validators. but EIP 7791 allows developers to route that revenue directly to their own contracts. Think about the implications for the Beast financial ecosystem. If Bitmine builds the infrastructure and millions of users start using it to transact, Bitmine won't just benefit from the price of ETH going up. They will earn recurring, direct ETH revenue from every single transaction that happens on their platform. My analysis suggests this transforms them from a miner into a self-sustaining on-chain economy. They aren't just building the house, they are collecting the rent on every single room 24/7, forever. It moves the business from grants and tokens to real usage and real cash flow. In my view, this is the most sustainable business model ever built in crypto, and the institutions are front-running the realization of just how much ETH this company is going to be generating. Finally, we have to talk about the why now. Why did all of these massive buys from BlackRock, Marex, and ARK happen in the exact same week in February 2026? My analysis suggests the answer lies in a historic regime change happening right now in Washington, D.C. We have just witnessed the most pro-crypto regulatory pivot in history. The CFTC just formed a 35-member Innovation Advisory Committee, and the list of appointees is a who's who of the industry. We're talking about the CEOs of Coinbase, Uniswap, Ripple, and Chainlink, the guys who have been fighting the system, now literally sitting inside the system, advising on U.S. market structure. At the same time, we have the Crypto America mandate from the Senate Banking Committee, making it clear that digital asset innovation must be built in America, not overseas. And the SEC is finally following suit with the Clarity Act, moving away from regulation by enforcement and toward a clear, fair rulebook that protects investors while allowing companies like Bitmine to thrive. In my view, the hostile era is over. The U.S. government has effectively legalized the playing field, which was the final hurdle for institutional giants like BlackRock to go all in. The risk has been significantly de-risked. When you combine the demographics of the wealth transfer, the technology of Bitmine's ETH treasury, and the regulation coming out of DC, you have the perfect storm. My analysis suggests that the window of opportunity to get in before these institutional moves are fully priced in is closing fast. We could see a move to a completely new valuation regime as more people realize that the smart money isn't just speculating. They are building the next generation of global finance. I'll be keeping a very close eye on the next round of filings to see if this trend continues. But in my view, the signal is loud and clear. The institutions are in. Are you?